Danster, what's happening? Welcome. We're going to show some video of you painting that car, Dan. Make some videos, Dan. Please. Oh, it's hot today. Really hot today. Like, Jay, what's happening? Good to see you, man. It was hot today. It was like 94. Hot and humid, and sweated my butt off at work and stopped to the. Yeah, it's hotter than hell. Hell yeah. Um, Stopped to the hobo fright today, and I got some toolbox liner. And yeah, swampy is well put, Kim. Welcome, Kim. Um, I went to the hobo fright today, and I got some toolbox liner because I got my Snap-on taco wagon box. Fox dude, what's going on? And um, I got my taco wagon. Then I had a Snap-on top box that maybe I think it's Casey Mears or David Mears. 7 tornadoes. Holy wah. Well, so I ended up getting the toolbox liners, and I got the toolboxes put together, and I've been cleaning out the bottoms of the drawers, and there was like pieces of oily cardboard in the bottom of them, and some had toolbox liners, but they look like they've been through war and back like 3 times. They're all like goofed up, and someone who cut them, they didn't even cut them to match the space of the drawer. So it's hot and humid in Michigan. So don't feel bad. We're all in it together. But so I was cleaning out all the sand and everything at the bottom of the drawers and threw away all the cardboard, and then I started cutting out the toolbox liner. And what I bought from Hobo Fright, I didn't think I was gonna like because it's really thin. I mean, it's really thin. I didn't think it was gonna be uh um I didn't think I was gonna like it. But once I got the first piece cut and laid in, it's actually got string reinforcement in it. I was really surprised when I seen that. Once I actually laid it down inside the toolbox, it's way more cushy than I thought. So I'm pretty happy. So I got one drawer of the big drawers on the upper box done today, and then I vacuumed out all the drawers and everything. So I sat out in the shop and worked on that today. And my lady comes out. She goes, as hot as it is today, why are you working in your shop? And I'm like, because I want to achieve something today. Because I guess the rest of the week I'm going to be working on what's my job? I'm a '70s street pimp. I'm bringing it back. I've got the big fedora hat and the big feather. I got a pimp cane. I got a pimp chalice. I got a strong pimp hand. I drive a '74 convertible Eldorado. Yeah, I'm bringing pimping back. That's my job. So yeah, I got the toolbox, started to get the toolbox up and going, started to move some tools over from the old toolbox to, well, it's my new to me toolbox. And it's got like a mishmash of like on the it's what Dougster does, damn it. Tornado warnings, not good. Oh, hi, Colleen. Ma. So yeah, it's kind of a mishmash of toolbox liners because there's the foam in some of them, the thin foam in some of them on the taco wagon. The taco wagon's in way better shape. The big toolbox is bigger than the small toolbox. Um, I had to repair one of the rollers because when you pull it out, it would go beyond its stop and it would pull off the track. And then I just had to bend out one of the little fingers that hits on the bump on the drawer. So I had to fix that. I did that yesterday. And then some of it has the foam mesh. You know what I mean? It's foam, but it's like web. And it's supposed to be non-slide for tools. And I don't like the fact that there's nothing uniform in there. There's some of it that's diamonds and some of it that's squares and it's larger and then some of it's foam and I don't care for that. I want stuff uniform. So I'm going to take my time and go through and replace all of that foam and everything so it looks nice because, it's my box. These kids these days could never. So yeah, I'm very happy with my tool. Oh, I had to that same drawer that I had to bend one of the tabs out on the drawer slide. It also like something heavy bashed down on the handle, like the drawer pull. So I had to bend the drawer pull back to right. Oh, and I've got this little. I found it in the back of one of the drawers when I was transferring tools over to my new box. I've got this little 4-inch Craftsman crescent wrench. And Lady Dougster was hanging with me yesterday. She's like, "Oh, it's so cute." She goes, "It doesn't work." And I'm like, "It doesn't?" I forgot about it. It was in the back of a drawer buried by other stuff. And sure enough, it didn't work. And I farted with it and it was just frozen from sitting so long. And I finally got it to work again. Well, the box, of course my box has to look good. I tried to wet sand one side of it because there's like that box is every bit of 40 years old, if not more, because they made the taco carts from like 79 to the mid 80s and then they stopped making them. So I don't know when my box was made. I got to look up the serial number. I can look up the serial number and it'll tell me when it was made, but somewhere between 79 and like 85, 86. But it's got decades of gack on it and it's just growed right in and there's black paint splattered on it and stuff and I don't think it's going to clean up. And plus there's paint missing on it too. But then again, tells a story. It's work worn and it's still a good quality box. So that if I can't make it look good externally, at least it'll look nice when you open up the drawers. The drawers still slide nice on it and everything. Even the one that I had to repair. So, and I had to bend the handle back to straight on that one damage. It's just on the corner. And it's looking way better. And then, I'm going to get the drawer liners put in and everything. Do I think I'll repaint it? That's called patina. That's right, Jay. I don't know, Tracy. I don't know. Because if I repainted it, I got to take all the chrome trim off of all the drawer fronts, and then I got to dismantle the whole box, and maybe someday, but I kind of like the fact that it's got that work-worn look to it, and I tried to clean up what I've got, and it's not happy, so I guess yeah, exactly. It does tell a story. Like it had a vice on it for a long time, and you can tell right where they rubbed up against it, turning the handle and stuff, the paint's worn away and stuff like that. So it does kind of tell a story. Exactly. Work worn. She's old, she's worn, but she's not worn out. I don't know. I might paint it, I might not. Because if I paint it, then maybe I'll paint it like vitamin C orange, like a high impact Mopar color, and put a white Super B stripe on it or something, or paint it Petty blue and put a 43 on it and make it a Richard Petty edition box, or just paint a toolbox red. Grand Pedo Vic, what's happening? So yeah, I literally came in from the shop and then got myself something to drink, came and sat down. So I'm still cooling off from working out in my shop. Yeah, Petty Blue would be cool. But back in that era, toolboxes were just red. It was just toolbox red. So it would be, it would still be cool. Toolboxes come in every color today. It's going all right. Not that long ago, I'd say, yeah, a week ago, I got myself a vintage Snap-on toolbox. I got what's called the taco cart, and it's a aviation mechanics toolbox. So it's got really big casters on it that are suspended, and actually the toolbox actually has a tongue on it, and it's meant to be towed out to the aircraft. Red was the jam. Red was the norm. Yeah, all toolboxes are red, unless they were SK Wayne or SK. They were green. I always liked the SK green. I found years ago an SK Wayne toolbox, but the guy had it put it on wheels, and then he pushed it everywhere where he needed his toolbox, and the thing had been pushed for so long full of tools that it was starting to shift from left to right, and you could see in the corners of the box where it had broken, it had torn, and then they welded it up. And then I was like, at first I was like, oh, it's an SK box. That you hardly ever see. I see SK handheld toolboxes, but I never see tool chest. And I'm like, oh, cool, it's a SK tool chest. It was in pretty poor shape. I want a blue just because of Hobo Fright. Nice. 6% Recycled got his lady friend 94% of your problem. That's her channel name. He got her a purple. Yep, Kennedy's were brown or gray. Yep, that's right. Turbo Tom's right. Kennedy's were brown. Kennedy was a nice box. Kennedy's were usually a machinist box, though. I never hardly ever seen mechanics with Kennedy boxes. Machinists had Kennedy. Yep, Kennedy's were brown or gray. Yes. Dark gray, like a dark machinery, slate gray. Yes. Welcome, Turbo Tom. Oh, and I seen Faith is here. Hi, Faith. Oh, boy. Feels good to be in the house with the central chooching. At least I got something done today. It's a Taiwanese red. Yeah. Oh, Danster's back. He took a phone call. Where'd you take it to? The back room? The back porch? Front room? The parlor? The throne room? I remember going to into like repair shops as a kid with dad. Like we'd blow a tire on the rig and we go into some random tire shop and all the guys there with their toolboxes and all covered in old car emblems and stuff like that. Love that stuff. Got my Mac MB 1500 roller bench back in 87, 3,500 bucks. That was a bunch of cash in 87. 3,500 was a lot of money in 87. Good job. Good deal on the 11-day vacation there, Vic. Nice. Naked lady calendars. Yes. Snap-on calendars for sure. One place that my great story. One of my D-Man, what's happening? D-Man from the Northeast, what's happening? My friend's grandmother worked at a very popular business in Grand Rapids, and they did service work plus they had sales, over-counter sales. And in the 80s, when the toolbox calendar girls started popping up real hardcore, the guys started to get the calendars and stuff, and they wanted to show them. Well, the ladies in the office, they all went to the bar one night and they talked about it on a Friday. On Monday, they had a plan. On Monday, they came in and they talked to the guys and they said, look, guys, we like the calendars as long as they're clothed. We like the calendars. We think those ladies are dressed pretty snazzy. So let's make a deal. She says, you guys can display your calendars in the shop, but wherever a customer comes up to take a tour through parts department or stands at the counter, they can't see them. She goes, that's the deal. Okay. No nudity. And it can't be seen by a tour or a customer standing at the counter. And the guys held their word. She said that if you walked up and did a tour across parts counter, you couldn't see any girly calendars. If you stood at the counter and did a transaction at the counter, you couldn't see girly calendars. But if you walked into the back wall, because, you know, when somebody would go in the back to get something off the shelf, every wall on the inside, the back of shelves, all sorts of stuff, everything out of the eye shot of customer was a girly calendar and posters and whatnot. And I just thought that was really cool. And that they had a deal. You know, the guys could display their calendars and it was still professional. I thought that was a pretty cool trade. Oh, Mexican Spec is here. Sorry, ladies, we're just guys. Yeah, true. But then again, I thought that was pretty fair, because there's a lot of places where the ladies would just, you know, squash that stuff deader than a cockroach. So I thought that was pretty cool and pretty forward thinking for ladies in the 80s. It was supposed to rain this morning for like a pop-up shower. It never came. It just got absolutely muggy. And I'm kind of happy it didn't rain, because usually ladies of the 80s were the free love hippies of the 60s somewhere. Yes. There was still some squares though. Not all were the free love hippies. There's still some squares, but yeah, Mex is right. Guys can be guys on our channel, especially for our acro memes. Only pouring while I worked today was sweat dripping off of me, sweaty belly, marks on the door and quarter panel. Oh, yeah. Rain is good. Send some over here, please. I can't complain. May and June have been really actually cool, way cool, colder than usual. Like we've had low humidity and highs of like just 70 and like some 45-degree mornings, which is actually cold. I'll do a rain dance for you guys. Oh, nice. Go, Jay. I can see Jay now. Yeah, when it's this humid out, it'll rain and then the temperature will drop a little bit as it's raining, and then it'll get done raining, then the cloud cover goes away, and then the sun goes out and everything dries up, and then you just feel the humidity just crank up, and then it's even worse than it was before. Yeah, 100-degree day, 98% humidity. Yeah, where you can just grab a hold of the air. Yeah, good times. This is why I see people saying old people are stiff. A 75-year-old was 18 and 69. People should remember that. This is true. Big time storms rolling through. Tom, good to see ya. 6% Recycled come to visit me last Saturday. We took him to a junkyard so he could find some parts for a project that he's working on. It was good to hang out with Scott and his lady, and showed him around the area, took him to a drive-in diner, and they really enjoyed that. And I just showed him some of the highlights, some of the cool stuff in the area, and we got to talking about Tom's brother, Dan, New Guy's Garage. And like I haven't heard from him. So then I guess the algorithm just forgot about him. So I looked him up, and I resubscribed. I was subscribed to Dan at one time. Well, anyways, I seen that Dan and Tom's son, who I didn't recognize at first until he spoke, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that voice. And yeah, it's Tom's son. He's a lot taller. And so Tom, is he is he turning a wrench with Dan at the shop? They went to French Lake Auto Parts. I guess that's like 160 acres of old car junkyard, and they've got cars from like the teens and 20s all the way up to late model stuff. It's really neat. YouTube is yeah. That's a good way to put it, Vic. North Carolina storms every day at 3 p.m. Reminds me of South Florida before I left. Couldn't breathe then or now. Yeah, my mother-in-law and Lady Dougster and my mother-in-law used to live in Florida, and they said that it used to rain once a day. Like so hard that if you're driving, you'd have to pull over till the rain quit. Raining so hard. It's like, dang. YouTube is still censoring. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that. I've even on Gen X Empty Nesters live stream where we're pretty unfiltered, and I've told a joke that was kind of off color, and yeah, they censored me. I don't agree with that, but hey, because it wasn't really that bad what I said, but okay, whatever. Tom says, yeah, he's working with his uncle, learning to turn wrenches. Yep, 6%'s doing great. They bought a new place. They moved. I helped them move. And I'll tell you what, this new 6% digs is pretty sweet, y'all. Working with his uncle. Good deal. 3 to 5 minute storm at 3 p.m. here lets you feel like you're breathing through a wet rag. Yeah, I know exactly how that is. It's you're usually when the heat and humidity are the worst, like it's normal for it to be hot during the 4th of July. So right now we're getting normal seasonal weather. And but usually when the heat and humidity are the worst is August. August is when it is just flaming hot, high humidity, and at that and late July and mid August, you can actually on a late night, you can go out to the cornfields and you can actually hear the corn grow, and it makes like this slight popping sound because it's actually growing at such a rapid rate. You'll hear pop, 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 pop. I worry about 6% when I don't hear from him in a bit. He's doing all right. I was in Florida 5 minutes from North Carolina. My brother said Uncle Sam would put on a base where it's normal, put on a base where it's normal weather. The algorithm doesn't like our content. We're stuck at just over 300 subs. We love our crowd, though. Some hilarious people. I agree. We have a great group of people. Yeah, the algorithm. Popcorn. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, you can actually hear that plant actually scuffing along itself. Pop, 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 pop. That stuff grows fast, especially when everything's optimal. Like they'll plant a little before or after Memorial Day, and the old saying is knee high by the 4th of July, and most of the fields around here are better than knee high already. There is some fields that are above waist high to me already. Some people have some, well, they also have watering systems and stuff like that. So they're just dousing those fields. Yeah, they're irrigating them with 6-inch wells. I know. The algorithm, the Al Gore rhythm. Can't you picture Vice President Al Gore dancing? I know that's like 30 years ago, but still, the Al Gore rhythm. My chat went away. Well, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Beck was censored on TikTok because she used the word for black, but her bad word list in English, and I guess you can't say the word anymore. Oh, yes. Yes. Even in Spanish, you can't say the Spanish word for black? Okay. It's in Florida. Girlfriend got banned for TikTok Live because Because I said that in the background. Wow. Mine dropped, so I have grandma reading. Okay. Buffering like summer thinging. Yeah, I don't agree. I mean, now it's keywords and and the sad thing is it's not even a human that's censoring. It's just, yeah, they look for anything that could be, we got to wrap everyone in bubble wrap and, everything's got to be okay. Yeah, right, Tom. Man. Still daylight out. That is something nice that I like about summer is instead of it getting dark at like 5:30 or 5 o'clock, it actually stays light out until past 10. People are afraid of words nowadays. Well, yeah, especially when everyone has to get all up in arms, um, offended. They got to get offended just to be offended. It doesn't even directly affect them. It's not like they have you. So you say a bad word. Okay, fine. So you said a bad word that could be derogatory to some group of people, and then someone's going to get mad and then tell you that you're wrong for saying that, and you're like, okay, is there one of that group in your family? No. It's they're just a right fighter. They're like, no, that's just wrong. It's like, okay. There's a comedian, his name is Brad Williams, and he's a little person, and he talks about his affliction, him being a little person, and he uses some of the terms. And this lady, after a show, got mad because he was using those terms. And he goes, do you have a little person in your family? No. Are you friends with little people? I don't know any little people. And then he keeps asking, because he's thinking, I must have crossed a line with you somewhere because, you're someone close to you is one. And then, no, she was just mad just to be mad. And he's like, well, I think I qualify. If anyone was to use this term, I think it's me because I am one. But yeah, people are afraid of words. People are just, I don't know. I seriously wonder if, yeah, I won't even talk about that. Oh well. At least we can still sit here and chit chat with each other for the most part. There are some words that are coming back I've been seeing people use. Brad is funny. Oh God, he's funny. He is way funny. One of my favorite things is Brad is actually a pretty good golfer because that's what his dad was into. So all the time, he would go golfing with his dad as a kid. He grew up around golf courses. And he's no Tiger Woods, but he's pretty decent on the golf course. And his dad would make the same joke because someone would say something, there's Brad and his dad, because his mom and dad are normal sized people. And they'd be out on the golf course and someone would say something about Brad being a little person. And my favorite joke that he tells that his dad would use is, yeah, Brad isn't much of a golfer, but man, you should see his short game. And actually, credit to Brad's dad, because Brad would be like, people are going to make fun of you. So he's like, I'm going to hit you with one, hit me back. I'm going to zap you, zap me back. So he would say something harsh to his son, and then his son was supposed to hit him back with something just as witty. So that was that. So he knew how to verbally spar even as a youngster, because he knew, his dad knew. Yeah, Brad is very funny. Brad is very funny. Yeah, I grew up with a little person, close friend of the family, and his name is Little John. Everyone knows him as Little John. And that dude is so damn funny. Like, he's one of those guys who could fall in a vat of hog crap and then tell the story, and it's the funniest thing that you've ever heard in your life. He just has a knack to tell great stories and be really funny. um what I grew up with him, and God, he's hilarious. He's funny in his own right. He ain't Brad Williams funny, but he's pretty funny himself. Brad and his wife had a daughter, and I think his daughter is a little person too. So I thought that was surprising. I didn't know that I was thinking that he was going to have a normal sized daughter, but that's interesting. So good for Brad and his wife. Man, does it feel good to be in the house. God, I love the central AC. Our central went out a few years ago, and we had it replaced with a brand new unit, and boy, we're glad we did that. It's nice indoors today. It sure is. Um, our old AC unit was so old, and I didn't even know that that they made those things. Our old central AC unit was Magic Chef brand. Now, Magic Chef makes like stoves and refrigerators, but usually they're very low line. Like all the Magic Chef stoves and microwaves and stuff I remember are just bare bones, like just what you need to get the job done. Like the Magic Chef stoves I remember were just, they had no clock. They had um like just a place to bake something and cook a meal. My boss just replaced his unit. It ran for 32 years. I wouldn't be, as old as ours was, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if it wasn't 30 years old. Our refrigerator we just replaced, and I'll bet you that was 30 years old, and it just gave up the ghost. And I'll tell you what, that thing kicked butt and took names until this spring. My favorite Joe boss replaced. Although I gotta brag, after dinner I lugged 9 leaf bags out to the street and didn't break a sweat until the last two. Magic Chef AC? Cool. Yeah. I didn't, I was so surprised that it was Magic Chef brand. And then because first we called out the heating and cooling place. Oh, got to work this morning. It was 75 and 95 by noon in the shop. Same thing here, Tom. Same thing here. And yeah, the heating and cooling place come out, and they came to kick the old mule in the ass, and they said she's old and pretty worse for wear, but we can kick her in the butt and get her up and going. But you could be looking at a new AC unit real soon, and but we'll throw some parts at it and get her up and going. And he said that it really was a Bryant brand, but yeah, it was made by Bryant, but Magic Chef brand. And yeah, it was like later that summer it just fell down, and then we just bit the bullet and bought a new one. Vintage Adventure Drives. Hi, Tanner. He says, "Hey, Dougster, just found out my tunnel ram is for a tall deck. Guess I'll have to become a 440 guy now." That's right. I have and use a 90 question mark year old Magic Chef range. 90 years old Magic Chef? Wow. Very cool. From the 30s? Cool. Yeah. Now, the you can use a 383 on a 440, but you have to make spacer plates. But yeah, you can't use a an RB intake on a B engine. Yeah. Yeah. Dang, gotta be a 440 guy. That's what you need. You need more displacement. I suppose it could be from the 40s, but it's old. Very cool. I'm impressed that it still works. Um, there's some really awesome like gas ranges and stuff from the 40s and the 50s that had options and just well-made stuff from that era that is way better than anything you can buy today. What I would like to have is the wood stove cook stove, where you actually take the grates off and you can put wood down inside of it. Actually, the one that has a firebox on the side and a hot water tank. But yeah, I'd love to have one of those and be able to use it, cook on it, and stuff like that. Because I still use cast iron pans. I love my cast iron. And most of the time, if I'm cooking myself a meal, it's like 99% of the time it's cooked on cast iron. It cooks good. I bet it does, Dan. I bet it does. Tanner says, I also picked up a new to me manual for the Scamp. Now I get to figure out how to get this 3-speed in the car. Nice. You could cook a whole turkey in just under a day. Wood-fired pizza oven. Cast iron pan is greater than a stamped piece. Yeah, I agree. No, I'll bet you money, Tracy, that wood-fired oven would cook a turkey in normal time as long as I kept my heat range right. My friend has one in his man cave, and he'll cook you a meal on it. He'll bake biscuits in the oven and everything. But the thing is learning to finesse the heat. You know, don't want to put too much wood on towards the end. You don't want a temperature spike and stuff like that. So he says learning to keep the heat right is the biggest problem, because he said when he first started using it, especially the oven, he was burning stuff left and right. Oh, it's a quote from Johnny Dangerously. Of course. Yes. Duh. I'm going to get myself something to drink. Enjoy the license plates. Ooh. Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me? I know you did. It's raining. Dougster, you only know I speak in movie quotes and song lyrics. That's right. Work better with coal. Yes, there is Camp Mean Street Mopar. What's happening? There is Camp Noonday over by me, and it was made in the America's Back to Work program, the CCC, which was part of good sweaty balls evening to everyone. Hey, old Mac. And it was made in the CCC with the New Deal, with Roosevelt's New Deal, bringing America back to work, and every cabin has a stone fireplace in it, and you can cook food. It even has an oven built, or like a food warmer or an oven built into the fireplace, and you can open it from either side, so you can be outside and put something in there to warm, or you can be inside and take something from the inside of the metal box. It's cool. I hope your mom. I'm glad to hear that your mom's doing better. Let's all keep our fingers crossed for Mean Street Mopar's mom, Mother Mopar, Holy Mother Mopar, and Jesus Chrysler. No, I didn't go to St. Ignace. I ended up having 6% ended up coming out, and I took him to a really great junkyard so he could get parts for a project that he's working on. No, St. Ignace is one of those things. And I was talking to some of my friends like a few weeks before, and I'm like, want to go to St. Ignace? Nah. And I'm like, just for a day trip? Because I knew there's no way, you know, at the last second, there's no way I'm going to find a hotel room up there, or at least a hotel room anywhere near St. Ignace. And I said, not even for just a day trip where we leave early in the morning, go up there, hang out, and then come home in the evening? Nah. I wanted to talk to you about that Main Street Mopar. The guy has gotten a little crazy with his prices. So I don't know what he's going to charge me for the Diplomat header panel. And Dutch has a friend that we went down to see, and he's got a whole bunch of that era car parts. And I wonder, and I know he has one pulled already. And I was wondering if he might ship one to you. Maybe. I'll have to get back out there. And where we were was up in the very front by the road, and where that car is, where we got to get that header panel, was all the way in the back. I'll try to have one for you by no name, Ken, or at least have information so uh, you can obtain one. What do you need? Do you need like just the header panel, or are you looking for the header panel, grill, headlight, fascia, the filler panel between the bumper and stuff? I mean, how much of that do you need, Mean Street Mopar? Senior, what's happening? Good evening. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. So it sounds like rest of the week I'm going to be, a friend of mine and his wife are everything that's attached to the header panel if possible. So you want the complete header panel, headlights, the bezels, the grill, the header panel, okay, as complete as possible. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll try talking to, does it have to be a Dodge? Could it be a Chrysler? He should have one for a Dodge Diplomat. Yeah, I think you said in the past that you'd prefer it to be a Dodge. Yeah. I'll see if Dutch can talk to his friend about his and see if he's willing to ship one or whatever. And then we've what I'm trying to say is we've got options. Ah, you already have a Chrysler header panel. Okay, you want the Dodge. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. All right. Because I was going to buy one while we were there, but once we loaded up the truck and the trailer at that guy's place in Ohio, we literally did not have room anywhere to put anything else. Because we got an air compressor, we got quarter panels, fenders, rockers. Lars, what's happening? Bye, Jay. Rockabye, baby. Good to see you, Lars. Driving and listening. Nice. I guess driving and listening, that's better than driving and crying, right? Or could it be Fly Me Courageous? Lars did a really great video the other day. He's walking down the street and looks down the road and need to mow, and then he looks at his shoes and he cuts back up and it's mowed. And he's like, missed a spot. Lars made a short and I commented on it, and I didn't realize that you could do voice messaging now. And he left me an actual voice message. All he said was meow, but because there's a cat in it. But I was really surprised when I heard that. I was like, okay, that's new. Yeah. Last week on Gen X Empty Nesters, we were talking about all of our YouTube friends who have big beards like Mohawk and Lars, how if they shaved their beards, we wouldn't recognize them, or Mean Street Mopar too. Dropped off the valve springs at my machine shop. Too bad the machinist's on vacation, right? Old Max says, I just need another 25 feet of stainless braided AN6 fuel line, bypass pressure regulator for carbs, and a couple fuel filters and a fuel pump for a carburetor engine, and my fuel system will be complete. I just found out about the voice reply too. Figure I try it out on Dougster. Nice. Well, it works. Yeah, I'm kind of in your boat fuel system wise, old Mac. I've got a whole fuel system, but I got a great Barry Grant fuel regulator, but it's a deadhead regulator with no return. And so I need a fuel pressure regulator with a bypass. I want to get a couple of more filters because I got the big strainer that comes right off of the fuel pump. I've got a Holly Blue buzzer, the Holly Blue fuel pump, and Dan just got home from buying a bunch of fireworks. Yep, he's a big child. Some friends of mine dropped $3,500 on fireworks for their party this weekend. So, yeah. So I need to get I got the big fuel strainer, so I want a smaller micron filter for midway, and then I want an even smaller micron filter up by the carb, and then I want to get a couple of dual, because I've got AVS2 dual AVS2 carbs for shop truck, and I want to get the dual inlet fuel rails, the dual inlet fuel rails for each of the carbs. And then I also have so I need to get a few pieces for fuel system, but part of my fuel system is I have a Moroso Super Cool can. So I'm going to be icing down my fuel. Nice. Mean Street Mopar says, I think my W2 318 is going to be snappy with the 274 over 251 at 50 with 108 lobe separation, 560, 570 lift cam. Well, it's definitely going to say potato, potato, potato. It's definitely going to kick butt. Turbo Tom says, I had my beard off at Easter, got sick, so I let it grow back. I'm glad you're feeling better. He only spent $22 on the whole bunch, 75% off. Wow. Nice. Yeah. Turbo Tom would be another guy that I hardly recognize clean shaven. Now, I know my beard is a lot fuller than it used to be, but the last time I let my beard go, it only came into like here. All right, so I had my mustache, and then basically it all grew in here, like full beard from here down. But now I notice that it still doesn't connect like it should, but it's a lot fuller than it used to be. But I still don't look right with a beard, so I just keep the porn stash happening. Old Mac says I got an evil energy fuel cell, a fuel sender that came broken inside, had an EFI fuel pump that I can't use except if I buy a $200 regulator to turn it down to 5 to 9 psi. Just short, posted a short about it. Nice. Senior says I live out in the country about a half mile from a Ritchie home development where we just watched theirs. I spend zero cash for the fourth. At 68 years young, I've seen a bunch of fireworks. The DLC, Mean Street Mopar says the DLC coated solid lifters look really well made. Hopefully, I can break in properly. Yeah, I think that'll break in properly. My wife didn't know me shaved. I bet she didn't, Tom. I live really close to a bougie lake, and they usually have some pretty decent fireworks themselves. And then there's a casino nearby, and they always do a real humdinger for fireworks also. My dog doesn't do all that well with fireworks. She's better than our older dog we had, Sadie. Poor Sadie. She was just a wreck. We'd have to get her all duped up on doggy calming stuff just so she could bear the day of all the fireworks going off and stuff. One day we forgot. She comes up to me and her pupils are just huge, and I'm like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Oh, come here, honey." And she got up, and you're she just wanted to be held. Thunder shirts helped a little bit. My neighbor had a runaway cow in his yard 2 weeks ago. I swear I heard it in my yard yesterday. I wouldn't recognize myself if I shaved. One of the guys I worked with years ago, he worked maintenance and he was a biker guy. His name was Bear, and he had the big salt and pepper, big old beard. And well, one day this guy comes up and he's talking to me. He's clean shaven, and I'm looking at him and I go, "It sounds like someone I know." And then he stops and he goes, "It's Bear." And I'm like, "Where's your beard?" And he goes, "Get a good look. Get a good look, because this is it." He says, "I promised my kid brother I'd be clean shaven for his wedding. So he's getting married. This is it. Get a good look, because this is the last time you're going to see it." Yeah, cows out sucks. Cows out can be dangerous. The wrong person will hit a cow, and that is bad. Very bad. Feel sorry for the animals in the area, deer, turkeys, dogs, and cats. Yeah. At least the deer and the turkey are delicious. It's interesting. Farm raised turkey is good, like what you get for Thanksgiving, but the only thing that you get difference between like a wild turkey, not the kind to the bottle, the actual real wild turkeys, and farm raised turkeys is you get way more meat on a farm raised turkey. But I'll tell you what, the wild turkey is way better eating, less meat. But man, so much better because the all natural diet. Like a big turkey would be like 26 pounds before you clean them. And, not much there, but boy, so good. Way better. Cow could be delicious. Cow is delicious. But I don't want to hit a cow with my truck. That cow and my truck are going to be a bad deal. Not to mention half of that delicious cow might be ruined. Not to mention my truck. We get deer in Michigan that are, well, as old Mac knows, we get some serious deer in Michigan. Oh, giggity, 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 giggity. What's up, Dan the man? The firework man. I heard my name. Hello, everyone. What's happening, Mohawk? Yep, we're talking about you. Were your ears burning, buddy? Giggity. All right. Oh, we had so much fun the other night at I'd rather eat deer, but I do like me a ribeye. Yes, ribeye is excellent. And if you like ribeye, but you don't have ribeye money, look for the chuck eye steak. The chuck eye steak is about half the price of a ribeye, but has that same ribeye muscle structure to it. Mohawk answers to cow too? That's right. We got to call in Mohawk. Yep. Mohawk. Planning my no-name nationals trip, and yes, I agree. Wild turkey and deer are my staple. Can't do the store-bought anymore. I could, but I elect not to. Possible salmon, flathead cat, and crappie. I do love crappie, but I like crappies. I find that crappies caught in the summertime are way too mushy. And usually what I do is try, if I catch crappie in the summer, I'll get a crappie as cold as I can, and then they usually fillet out better. But crappie usually caught in warm water is really mushy. Now, Mohawk. But yeah, I do like salmon. But I prefer my crappie to be caught through the ice fishing. Yeah, when they're nice, brought through that cold water, when they're nice and firm, and they fillet out just so good. You're just so funny on the show last week. Just imagine Doug's head on a sexy. Oh, I was just about to talk about that. Rainbow trout and brown trout, those are pretty good too. Oh yeah, trout is excellent. Yeah, what I was just going to tell everyone about that. So Gen X Empty Nesters, on their live stream, they do acro memes, and they had, so they threw up the picture, and then there's Dan and Tracy in the corner, and I'm central, and then Eric Destroyer 1320, he was in the upper right corner, and he was going to cook supper, so he had to go fire up the grill, so he bowed out, and so he was in the chat, and crappie with fries and husk puppies, oh yeah, or walleye, ooh, love me some walleye. And so they did a few acro memes, and one of them was just from here down of a very voluptuous woman in lingerie, and for whatever reason, I just moved over just right, so my head lined up on her neck, and we were just messing around. Shoot, sun just pulled up. Have a good evening, my friends here. Senior, good seeing you, man. Take care, and stop in again, please. Good talking with you. And yeah, we just had ourselves an absolute blast with that one. That was funny. I even went back and did the replay, and I showed Lady Dougster that, and she was laughing her butt off. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, Justin. Hi, Justin. Justin ordered the fuel lines and the fuel sender for his Nova. Unfortunately, the fuel sender's on back order, so I hope it comes. But I'm proud of Justin. He's working real hard on his project, on his Nova, and we're working our way towards the goal. We're working on one system at a time. First, it was the braking system. Now we're working on fuel system. Not that long ago, Justin cleaned and dismantled and cleaned his carb he did it himself with me just saying, do this, do this, do this. He did a great job. We'll make a mechanic out of him yet, dang it. Oh, Mohawk, you missed out, but that's okay. Easier than one would expect for a carburetor. Yeah, they like I said, I tell everyone they seem intimidating at first until you do it, and then you're like, this isn't that bad. It just seems intimidating. Yeah, Mohawk. That was pretty cool what you did though. There was a lot of great rides at that Sonic Cruise In, so wasn't like you weren't doing something worthwhile yourself. Well, the best part is an Edelbrock carburetor is pretty simple. So there's more moving parts in a Holly, and even more um in a like a thermoquad or a quadrajet, but none of them are impossible. That can be done. Human hands put it together. Human hands can take it apart and fix it. Till you find a check ball on the floor or two afterwards. Oh yeah, me and Justin had that problem. The check ball fell out, and we're like, crap, we forgot about it. I forgot about it, and we found it though. That Studi was pretty nice. I like Studebakers. I want to go down to the Studebaker Proving Grounds, which is Fort Wayne, I think it is. No, it's in Greater South Bend. Yeah, it's in Greater South Bend, but the old Studebaker Proving Grounds, and they planted trees that say Studebaker in big letters, and you can see it from aircraft. If you fly over those trees, you can still read Studebaker. And I want to go. It's like Bendix Woods or something like that. I want to go see it, just to go see those trees. He was only asking 25,000. Yeah, my friend went home for the weekend up in the Northeast. I think he lives over by like Albion, I think it is, or something like that, up in that area. And he said he seen a first generation Camaro for sale, and it had a tunnel ram and a bug catcher on it and no hood for sale. I go, how much? And he goes, oh, I didn't stop to look at it. He showed me pictures of it, and I'll bet you that was a $30,000 car. Looked pretty nice from the pictures. It was blue. Yeah, until you find a check ball or two on the floor afterwards. Yeah. Yep, he did some shorts. He did some shorts on the Sonic Cruise. Yeah. Yeah, people cruise to the Sonic, but I've never seen like a cruise in like what but Mohawk did. I have yet to see a cruise in like that. Just a few old cars will go to the Sonic. The drive-in restaurant down by Allegan, I've seen people car clubs cruise in there, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I took when 6% came to visit with this lady, I took him to Corky's Drive-In, which is my favorite little drive-in. The ladies, they still bring the tray and put it out on your window. They don't do roller skates, but that's fine. And the food is phenomenal. Old Mac, I will tell you, a Sonic cheeseburger is pretty good. Their tater tots is pretty good too. But that was one of the things I was going to say is when 6%, because 6% moved where he used to live, there was a drive-in over there where the ladies are still, where the waiters and waitresses are still on roller skates, and it was pretty good drive-in. And I took them to this drive-in here on the west side of the state, and they said flat out that the one that I took them to is better than the one from their area. I was like, wow, cool. The fast food joint that I actually am crazy about now because we just got a couple in our area is Bojangles. Man, is that good stuff. I'm not a sweet tea kind of guy. And the first time I ate at Bojangles, I know that's a North Carolina thing, is that sweet tea. So I ordered my meal with sweet tea because, let's try it the way it's supposed to be had, right? With sweet tea. And I was actually like, this is pretty good. So I don't like sweet tea normally, but I like Bojangles sweet tea. That was good stuff. 50-cent corn dogs. Well, good for you, because that's more corn dogs for you. You and Lady Dougster would be in corn dog heaven. I don't care for corn dogs. Just, I don't know. Used to love them when I was a kid. And I don't know, just lost my taste for a corn dog. Now give me a Chicago dog or a Coney dog. Yeah. Hi, Levi. Good to see you. Levi says, I'm so jelly. I love Bojangles. Yeah, Bojangles is pretty damn good. Yeah, I had their chicken strips, and those are pretty good. Yeah. My cousin moved out to North Carolina, and so he was telling me about Bojangles long time ago. He's like, man, I'm telling you, Bojangles. And because I remember how he was telling me how great it is. Their breakfast is killer. Yeah, I noticed that they do breakfast all day. I have yet to try their breakfast, Levi, but I will one day. Fast food's kind of been a treat for me. Like once a week, I do something fast food, and that's about it. Just because, kind of. But yeah, one of these days I'm going to try some of the because don't they do like their breakfast sandwiches on their biscuits? Because their biscuits are pretty damn good themselves. That's Eddie's. Yeah, Eddie's Drive-In. Yeah, near 6%'s old house. Used to be an A&W with the girl skaters bringing your food. Yeah, that's Eddie's. Yep, Eddie's Drive-In. Yep. So it used to be an A&W. Okay. I've only eaten once at Bojangles. It wasn't bad. It was breakfast. I only had dinner stuff at 0%, zero fast food here anymore. It used to be a lot better. Yeah, the reason why I don't eat it as much as I used to is because it's so damned expensive. And then that's me going to the store and buying it. Not to mention, I can't believe that people are like paying extra to have it door dashed to them. And screw that noise. It's expensive enough as it is. Let's add another few bucks onto it to have it brought to you so it can be cold. And have somebody spit in your food because you didn't tip them. No, I'll just get in my ride and drive out and get myself if I need fast food, which I don't. I'm pretty proud. Me and Lady Dougster do pretty good job here at the house. The Hardee's closes at 2 p.m. That is unbelievably early. I miss Denny's and the Grand Slam breakfast. Yeah. People are lazy and those people selling those services know it. Yes. Yes. Brother! Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, I'm coming off the top rope for you, brother. And there ain't nothing you're going to do about it. Because the Dougster says so. What's happening, Hulkster? Good to see you. Gonna take you out to Denny and never call you again? Whoa. Them's fighting words. I have never ate at a Waffle House. I have yet to eat at a Waffle House. I'm not opposed to the idea, but there isn't very many around here. Never ate at a Waffle House. Back in the day, we've got a truck stop, a pretty big truck stop close to us. Let's go fishing. Let's do it. And back in the day, just for something to do, I'd go out on Saturday nights and go early and catch a meal at the truck stop before bar close. And then everyone's drunk ass would drag themselves to the truck stop because everybody wants breakfast after 2 a.m. of drinking hard. And Hulkamania's running wild in the chat. That's right. And one particular night, this whole drunk group comes in. There's probably 12 of them. And this guy comes in. He's so drunk, he can't even say biscuits and gravy. He is that drunk. And he's about passing out. Before his food comes. He mixes up his food and he takes a forkful and he gets about halfway from the plate to his face. And then he just passes out and blat right into his food. Everyone's sitting there with cameras posing next to him, getting pictures taken. A Waffle House down south, midnight to 4 a.m. is a hoot. Oh, yeah. Colleen says we have a lot of food trucks around here. Like to support local entrepreneurs. The food is so much better. I will agree to that. 2 meals cost $30, and it fed Damien and I for 2 meals, so basically $8 a meal. Exactly. Hardee's and Ardmore, Fayetteville, and Huntsville all closed at 2 p.m. ever since 2023. They claim they can't get anyone to work second shift. Ginger's here. Hi, Ginger. We don't have a Waffle House anymore. The one in Waiteville, the car went through. Well, they don't need a drive-through, and they don't need to be making one either. Drive down I-75, you'll pass 10 IHOP before you get to Rob's house. Now, there used to be a Hardee's down in Plainwell south of me, and then they closed that when I was a little kid. And then they opened up one over in Lansing in a Love's truck stop. And because I always liked the Shroom and Swiss burger at Hardee's. And man, was that a blast of the past because my friend used to wrench at that Love's truck stop garage, and I stopped in to rattle his cage, and he wasn't working that day, so I stopped and got a Hardee's burger there instead. That was good. Yeah, there's a lot of good food trucks. We up in Grand Rapids, there's a huge Hispanic community, and so there's a lot of taco trucks, Hispanic food trucks, and a lot of taquerias around. And man, you want some kick-ass Mexican food? Yeah, off of those taco trucks. Those are pretty damn good. Yeah, mushroom and Swiss does kick ass. And it had been like 20, over 20 something years. I was a little kid the last time I had one at Hardee's, and I remembered it. And I got it again, and it was just like time machine. It was so long ago that my Hardee's, when I was a little kid, when the last time I had a Hardee's Shroom and Swiss, it came in a styrofoam container. That was a long time ago. The roach tried answering him, but he didn't know English, so he just winged it. Scattered, splattered, covered, and smothered. It was kind of funny. The Lady Dougster and I hadn't gone and ate at that truck stop in so long. We used to go there periodically just for dinner or whatever. The day that I had my colonoscopy, and of course, yeah, I couldn't have anything to eat for so long beforehand. So she's like, "You got to be starving," and I'm like, "Oh yeah." She goes, "Want to go to the truck stop?" I'm like, "Fine by me." And man, that was good. That truck stop's always fed people good there. The roach. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if it's a Mexican roach, and then it says La Cucaracha. I actually finally read the lyrics translated to La Cucaracha, and it's actually a really funny song. Basically, it's talking about a cockroach that's sitting in the corner smoking pot. It's just so silly, it doesn't make any sense. The best food here is Cousin's Maine lobster. Go to Tony's in Birch Run. Oh yeah, you and my friend Eddie keep telling me about Tony's in Birch Run. I guess Tony's has a 1 pound bacon sandwich. Like they put a pound of bacon on a, or 1 pound BLT, like a BLT with a pound of bacon on it. Yeah, Colleen, the cousin's Maine lobster. I've seen a couple of those trucks around my area. Lobster rolls, huh? Good. I'll have to check that out. Oh, okay. Okay. Hash browns with everything on them. That's what they used to yell to the chef. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there used to be a diner up north of us that was like the old rail car diner, and the girls on skates, and it was all neon and chrome, and they had their own slang for everything. And like, your order would be a cheeseburger and fries and a milkshake, and then she'd tell the cook that you wanted like a dirty sock with this and that. And it was just these little weird terms that they had for everything. It was really cool. Yeah, I've yet to be to a Waffle House. Every once in a while you'll drive by one around here, but they're not like prominent. Yeah, I need to go to Tony's in Birch Run for sure. I The last cool place that I went to was we went to, and I'm still raving over it, and I want to go back, is Tony Paco's in Toledo. That place was awesome. Definitely going back. Hi, old Mac. Ain't had Awful House since 1980s, and I heard the Awful House. There's a big chain of restaurants that I was told is pretty good. I've yet to eat at them, and they've been around for like 15 years or so. And it's a whole chain of them. They've got like 15 locations or 10 locations, and they're called Anna's House. And I heard that they it's a little on the pricey side, but they ain't afraid to feed you. Yeah, me and Lady Duckster do pretty damn good here at the house. We try and we make some pretty damn good stuff. Oh, has anyone seen the British couple who review Lambert's? It's pretty good, although it's Lambert's in Alabama. Is it the same theme and everything? Is it Lambert's or is it just another Lambert's? So Lambert's is a chain, or there's other locations that do the whole throwed rolls thing. Yep, it's the same. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I mean, if it's unique and good, hey, that's great. I have yet to experience Lambert's. Maybe I'll be able to do that this year. I'll try to leave a day earlier. I might have a friend going with me. They have 3 locations. That's crazy. One of my close friends might be coming with me down to No Name Nationals. We'll see if he goes. He loves drag racing and stuff. And I said, man, it's basically a family reunion where we drag race. And he's like, for real? I'm like, for real. Yeah. Josh and Jake from the UK should be returning to Michigan soon. That's awesome. I'm lucky because we have a really great Coney Island uh, here in Grand Rapids. Because Coney Islands are like the hot dog shops and stuff like that. They're all over the place on the east side of the state, the greater Detroit area, and like Ann Arbor and stuff like that. But mainly the east side of the state. Oh, unfinished project. What's happening? And so we don't get a lot of that over here. So having a real Coney Island uh, joint here is really big, and it's called the Grand Coney, and they don't disappoint. They hit all the hallmarks. I think Lambert's was picked number one in the national from diners, drive-ins, and dives. That's pretty cool. Hi, Dr. G. Yeah, every time that I've come down Mohawk, I come down on Friday, and then you guys go to Lambert's on Thursday night. So yeah, both times um, I've gotten into No Name, it's always been on Friday. Crap. When I got in on the 24 No Name Nationals, we didn't pull in till after dark on Friday. I got my best Coney dog in Flint. Yeah. See, Turbo Tom hits on a point that's kind of interesting. We have 2 kinds of Coney dogs here in Michigan. You have the Flint style Coney dog, and then you have the Detroit style Coney dog. And the difference between the two is the type of chili that's put on it. And yeah, yeah, there's some great Coney Island restaurants in in Michigan. I'm just out here tagging train cars under cover of darkness to see how they look in the morning. I want to try some Michigan style conies. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely should, Danster. Next time you get north of Toledo and get up into Michigan. Yeah, find yourself a Coney Island. They've got a dessert called Bumpy Cake, and I know that Old Mac's gonna say Bumpy Cake is good, but it's a chocolate cake, and they usually serve it with a scoop of ice cream on top of it. Bumpy Cake is out of this world. It is so good. Yeah, you wanna eat like a Michigander. You need to find yourself better made potato chips. You need to drink either Fago Pop or you can go on Friday or Saturday, and or Fago Pop or Verner's. The best ginger ale there is Verner's, the Detroit original. I had some steaks. Just made a chocolate cake celebrating the old anniversary. Happy anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. Unfinished. We have Cincy style conies here. I would try a Cincy coney just to see what a Cincy coney's like. Um, No Name of 24, I had some steaks that were I needed to cook up. And that night, Tom and Dan from New Guys Guitar and New Guys Garage, they wanted to take us to supper at uh, at Lambert's, and I stayed behind because I needed to cook up those steaks. Otherwise, they would have went bad. And yeah, so Cincy style is a Greek style chili. Okay, what's the difference between a boxer and a woman? What is the difference, old Mac? Cincy style is Greek style chili. Uh, I'll tell you what, you get the right Euro stand, man, Euros are good. I remember us getting Euros down in Chicago with Dad, and man, those things were tremendous. Yeah, yeah, Euros do kick ass. With that cucumber sauce, yeah. Boxer gets up and gets knocked down. A woman gets down. uh, we'll be going to our yearly trip to the Old Mill Crab House for our anniversary dinner, probably this weekend. Sounds good. There's a wonderful steakhouse over by Allegan and called The Grill House. And it's a cool 1850s farmhouse. It's huge. It's a humongous house, and they turned the old farm into a restaurant and bar and all that other stuff. But it's a nice place, and they actually have a grill that you go to the cooler and you pick your steak out of the cooler and they give it to you and you take it right over and you can grill it on the grill and season it up how you want it and everything. And it's amazing, and it's actually not nearly as expensive as you think it is. And now that's one of the special things that me and Lady Dougster do. Is that the Old Mill Restaurant in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee? Well, I know where Unfinished Product Project lives, but I am sworn to secrecy. So I will not confirm or deny. Place is nice, very rustic inside, long tables covered in brown paper, community style. Yes, up north there is a German brewery, and the main seating is benches and long tables, community style, where you sit down next to other people, and there's booths around the edge, but the main seating is just big long tables and benches. And I actually like that because, oh, Coperino's here. What's happening, Cope? And yeah, I actually like the the community side of things where you actually can have a conversation. Not Forged Pinions, Del Mar, just past US 13 Speedway in the drag strip. Nice. Good to see you, Coperino. Always good to see all the regulars and all my friends here. Always enjoy it. Gotta say, it's the people that make this live stream what it is. I mean, I do my part, of course, but so you guys do too, and I'm really happy about that. Forged pigeons, yeah. Well, what else do they make at Pigeon Forge? Forged pigeons, yeah. See, they're what they are is if it's a forged pigeon, then it's not a real pigeon because it's a forgery. That, or if they're forged pigeons, are that is that like instead of a cast pigeon, so those pigeons can stand more RPM, like a forged crank versus a cast crank in a Mopar. Even though I heard like the cast Mopar cranks can hypereutectic pigeons, flat top pigeons. Even though I've heard some of those forged Mopar cranks can still support like 600 horse, but I'd still rather have a steel crank, forged steel crank. Pigeons are CAA spies. They could be. And Bert from Sesame Street is their leader. He even has a dance. Old Max says the wife and I had a helicopter ride over the Smoky Mountains in Pigeon Forge. That was fun. I bet it was. Dished pigeons. Do you use dished pigeons when you use a supercharger or a turbo? Yeah, you do. Skirted pigeons. Could if your pigeons are getting a little worn out, could you knurl your pigeon? Yeah, knurl pigeons. Yeah. Listen to a loose engine. Listen to the pigeon slap. The CIA actually still use pigeons, but you don't hear that from me. Pigeons and dragons. Well, isn't they still send messages with pigeons, don't they? Like the homing pigeons? Yeah, homing pigeons. The question is, do you have high compression pigeons or low compression pigeons? All depends on what your pigeon height is. You know, how far down in the bore is your pigeon? And then people going out to Bonneville, are they going for the pigeon-driven record? Somebody with a power plant with a bunch of little pigeons running in like hamster wheels trying to propel a car down the track. Wow, when you leave Dollywood and head east, watch out for the elk. Dude, I would not want to hit an elk with a car. That would be scary. The couple elk that I've seen, like their shoulder, like not the neck, not the head, their top of their shoulder of their front leg was like 8 feet up. Like, what a huge animal. You got to make sure that you have proper valve to pigeon clearance. That's right. You don't want the valves to hit the pigeons. For sure. Well, that make for a bad day. And then also you have to make sure that you have proper pigeon quench. Don't want your pigeons to overheat. Ever wonder how people get called stool pigeons? Are they calling them something? Are they pieces of, you know what? Is that why they're a stool pigeon? Dolly's new travel center is only 22 miles from me. Crystal and I are going to go check it out soon. That sounds cool, Mohawk. Are we all pigeoned out? No, we've only begun with our pigeon. Yeah, Bert from Sesame Street does the funky pigeon. That's his own dance. So, yeah. A lot of people think that pigeons are real cool. Who here is pigeon toed? A young lady, when I was in high school, we had a girl in gym class, and she practically tripped over her own feet. She was so pigeon toed. It all started with Pigeon Forge. Down in Texas, there is, I think it's Cooper's Corner, Texas. There is a truck stop. My youngest son was pigeon toed. They're track runners. Wow, that's awesome. Um, in Cooper's Corner, Texas, there is a truck stop that's owned by Willie Nelson that Willie won in a hand of poker. And my friend used to frequent that truck stop, and he was in the area because he was doing Texas to Michigan runs and hauling produce. And he said that truck stop's pretty cool. The whole truck stop is nothing but Willie Nelson stuff. There was a guy in my gym class my freshman year. He ran so funny that he would literally kick himself in his own butt as he ran. We would play baseball in the spring, and he always wore these black sweatpants, and you'd see dusty heel marks below his butt cheeks from him running, where he would actually kick himself in his own butt running. You wouldn't have pigeon toes if you got rid of your corns. This is true. Mean Street Mopar says, I went with hyperergetic pigeons on my 318. They were the most affordable flat top pigeons I could find. Like 12.5 has arrived. Dino, welcome. Now we have our official. Now we're officially international. Well, no, we were international thanks to Mexican Spec, but now we have our New Zealander here. Welcome, Dean. Crystal and I watched the grand opening on our local news last week. Dolly was in the area promoting it. Pretty neat. Dolly is a pretty classy lady. She has a program to where underprivileged kids can get books sent to them on Dolly's dime because she believes that all kids should have books to read, no matter what walk of life they're from. So if they're underprivileged, she makes sure that people can actually. You actually met Dolly Parton, Old Mac? Cool. I bet you she was sweeter than sweet. I bet you she is just an awesome person. She sure seems it. Dolly Parton got arrested in Battle Creek, Michigan for fighting with some woman over her man. I believe she did that. Yeah. Dean Stevenson says, my dad's an ultra marathon runner who lives in South Africa, now retired. I'm adopted. My neighbors used to watch me run, said I ran so funny I was like a pregnant dog. Both of my grandson got those books. That's wonderful. Hi, Kev. Good to see you. She got to dig in for Buc-ee's. There's a place I've never been is a Buc-ee's. I hear it's awesome. I hear their brisket sandwiches are out of this world. I'd like to try a brisket sandwich. Oh. Dean, he runs just like you. Unfinished project said it's not really all on Dolly's dime. Our tax dollars help pay for most of it. Several states are dropping the funding, and once the currently enrolled are out, no new kids will be getting books. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I just can't remember if it was in Dollywood or Cedar Point, but I got picked out of the audience to play Elvis on stage. I have a pic somewhere. That's awesome. Need to make Bud the Spud decal for Shop Truck. Well, what if I just had Bud the Spud hood ornament where I just put a fresh Bud the Spud right on the hood of Shop Truck? Bye, Colleen. Thanks for coming out and hanging with us as always. Thank you for everything that you do. Have a great night, Colleen. What's going on, cousin Magic Mike? Okay, I'm going to go get myself another drink. Be right back. Enjoy the license plates. Oh. Oh, all right. Wednesday will be 2 weeks since I retired. Congratulations, cousin Magic Mike. No, I haven't done any 30 shorts in 30 days. I do have a no more pooflinging. Nice. I do have a pretty awesome hood ornament of Wile E. Coyote riding a rocket that I picked up a few years ago. But I thought about like taking that off and just putting a spike on it and just take a potato and put it on the hood just for fun. Dirty shorts in 30 days? Whoa. Well, I guess every day you'd have a pair of dirty shorts to film, wouldn't you? Those wear the same shorts for 30 days. You could. Well, the good news is if you wear them for the same shorts for 30 days, you wear them one way for 15 days, and then you just flip them inside out to the clean side, and then you wear them again for the next 15 days. That way you get even wear, and that way you get a clean pair. I could have somebody 3D print a Bud the Spud ornament. It's true, I could, or I could just get like a little face kit and do like a take a regular potato and put like Mr. Potato Head stuff on it. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? I would save on laundry soap. Dirty shorts for 30 days. Yeah. Well, the good news is it also save on laundry soap, and you wouldn't have to worry about anyone talking to you for a while. Everyone would be like, "Hi, how are you?" Yeah, skid marks. Oh yeah, racing stripes, Keebler, racing stripes. That's what my dad would always say. Racing stripes. Kevin Shrinky Smith. Ooh, that smell. Do 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 do. Everyone that had a kid in school that had skid marks. Oh yeah. Tomorrow going fishing in the mountains with my dad. Go cousin Mike. I hope you catch dinner, man. Nice. I want to go fishing in the mountains with cousin Magic Mike. I want to go out west. Just going out west would be cool. At my old factory job, says Ginger, this one dude never took a shower. I told him that he had it figured out. No one got near him. Yeah. Haven't had any skid marks since I got off my Schwinn bicycle. Wednesday, taking Stephen Holtz fishing. Cool. Oh, Stephen Holtz Just Drive It. I've heard of him. Cool. Very cool. The kid at my school was my bully. No way I was fighting that shithead out. Yeah, there's in I work in the food industry, and at my last job especially, we have things called GMPs, which are good manufacturing practices. And there's a lot of things because of food, and one of them is you have to be clean. and we would get temporaries in that, they're like, you need to shower. And he's like, I did. And it's pretty bad when the coordinator's like, well, okay, then you need to stand closer to the bar of soap. Yeah, it's pretty bad when people, you're just like, ooh. I picked up some awesome antique fishing rods at estate sales this year. Well, cousin Mike, old school Shakespeare stuff, Shakespeare made in Kalamazoo, Michigan, usually fetches good money. And I have a Kalamazoo made Shakespeare reel that I bought a long time ago just because it's highly desirable stuff, especially around here. Like there's actually a bar in Kalamazoo, and it's in the old Shakespeare fishing equipment office. And when it was made in Kalamazoo, and the bar's called Shakespeare's. And I've seen people at work who sag their pants. They don't even know how stupid they look with the skid marks and sagging pants. Yes. Some people you can't embarrass. This is true. Some people have no shame. They do not care. I worked at when I worked in auto parts. Oh, hi Wendy. Good to see you. When I worked in auto parts, I worked with some guys that they they didn't believe in showering, and it was bad. It wasn't so bad in the summer or in the winter, but the summer it was bad. They would just get so ripe. This one guy I worked with, he only had all summer long, he wore two t-shirts and two pairs of shorts all summer long. And God, nice guy. He was a great person. He just wasn't very hygienic. And then we had some younger guys that would come in and they didn't shower either, but at least they would douse themselves in cologne. So they smelled like BO and cologne. But at least they tried to overpower it with some cologne. But the older guys, yeah. I seen the short of you playing in the awesome waterfall, Magic Mike. That was pretty cool. Cousin Mike. That was pretty cool. Becky was down at the distance you pointed to her. I don't understand why YouTube gives you such a hard time, Kev. It's not like you do anything bad. In Army, you took a complete shower every day, whether you like it or not. That's right. The old there's no Magic Mike, same as Hoovie's Magic Mike. Kev, years ago, Landon's Custom Classics, um, he was goofing off. He's got a whole bunch of friends that are from the Philippines, and he was goofing around, and he did something where he dumped water on him, and he was dancing for the ladies, just goofing off, and we were calling him Cousin Magic Mike because um, Landon is Bear Rose's Garage's cousin. So he got introduced as Cousin Mike, and then it just kind of evolved from there, and it was Cousin Magic Mike. So yeah, he's the only Magic Mike. I will agree. Yes. Landon Custom Classics is a nut. Hell yeah, he's a good dude and he's funny as hell. And a damn good wrench too. Congratulations on your retirement. Wish I could send you a Mountain Dew. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. His natural scent. Had a lady tell a guy at work that his infirmary need to shower. Told him that was his natural scent. Yeah. No filter either. Couldn't take the boss's crap anymore. Literally. Flinging poo. I've never been fly fishing. My family lives down the road from the White River in Arkansas. Supposed to be some of the fly fishing around. Rainbow trout. Rainbow trout is a beautiful fish and very tasty fish also. Fly fishing takes a second to learn to cast the rod. I never mastered it. Stop yawning, Dougie. Okay, sorry. I'm trying not to because I know it's contagious. 10-pound rainbows? Oh, man. That's a good size rainbow. I'd rather, mounds are okay, but I'd rather have an Almond Joy. I like the Almond Joy better. I'm not a big dark chocolate guy. I like milk chocolate. So I think that's the reason why I like, and the almonds. So I think that's why I like the Almond Joy better. Who was it? Somebody made homemade Almond Joy bars, and those things were outrageous. Those were good, way good. Hope they are biting tomorrow. Good, good. Go get them fish. Okay. Can hang it in his workshop. Okay, Wendy. That was pretty damn funny. I'm weird, I guess. I like dark peanut chocolate in my peanut butter. Oh, I like chocolate and peanut butter. Oh God, wasn't it though? That was way funny. I used to make Almond Joys better than. Oh, really? That's awesome. What Wendy was talking about is the other night on Gen X Empty Nesters, we had acro memes, and so there's they put up a picture of a lady, and it's only from the neck down, and she's very shapely in lingerie, but it's only here from the neck down, and I just happened to be right above her picture, and I moved over so my head was above her body, and oh God, that was funny. That was just so much fun. So that's what Wendy's talking about. Mean Street Mopar says, "Oh, still fishing, Braden? We'll catch the fish, man." Mean Street Mopar says, "After I get the W2 318 together and broken in, I have to put new seals and gaskets in my 18 spline 4-speed. Was going to rebuild it, but it spins so smooth and doesn't make any noise." Well, I mean, um that's a good indication, but still it could make some noise under power, but I doubt it. Well, do you know who would ask? Would be Cope, even though Cope's an automatic guy, but If it don't make no noise, then it's worth trying. I've used, yes. Yeah, we used to catfish at night with bells. Yeah. We used to go up and down the channels of the lake that I lived near at night, and we'd fish for cats with bells. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Catfish are so delicious. Oh, yeah. And catfish love to fight. Yep. We use liver for catfish too. Go buy a container of chicken livers from the grocery store, and then you leave it out on you poke a few holes in it and leave it out on the back porch, and until it gets so stinky you can't walk past it anymore. That's when you take it out to the river and go fishing for catfish. A new kitten? Cool. Got a name picked out, Wendy? Levi! Hey, Levi. We used to use chicken and hook the lines to tree branches and rivers and snatch them. Yeah. Yeah, we've used chicken before too. Catfish taste like mud, only if you don't fillet them right, they will. If you don't fillet them right, they will. Got to get the mud vein out. Wow, caught a 38-pound cat in the Muskingum River by our cabin in Zanesville, Ohio. Wow, that's a hell of a cat. Dye penetrate and magniflux the case. Oh, old McDonald found a picture of him as Elvis. I'll have to check that out later. Scott Speed Shop found that bought separate A83 manuals can have a shunt or two or drop. At least check the case extension housing. Yeah. Yeah, I can't check it out without getting kicked off here, but I'll check it out later, old Mac. No, Levi Reed is not Laguna S3 man. He is a friend of mine in Dutch Guy's Garage. Um, the Bosnian guys I used to work with years ago would talk about fishing for catfish with chains, and they would tie them off to their cars on the river. And I'm going, that's a little extreme, don't you think? I go, why don't you just use poles? He goes, we can't hold them. And I go, well, how big are the catfish? He goes, 2 meters. And I said, 2 meters? That's 6 feet. 2-meter catfish? No. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I show you. I bring Bosnian newspaper. I get Bosnian newspaper. I show you. And then a few weeks later, he shows me a article in one of the Bosnian newspapers, and there's 3 guys shoulder to shoulder, each with 2 handfuls of catfish. You know, it was huge. It was over 2 meters long. It was like, holy crap, that's a big ass fish. Her name is Fritz. The road they found her on was in a barn. Fell 2 stories and survived. Her name is going to be Hosta or Blossom. That one was at least 5 feet long. Wow, that's nuts. That catfish was longer than my daughter. We have pictures of it somewhere. That sounds awesome. Mean Street Mopar says, I have to put a manual steering box and clutch pedal assembly in along with the floor shift steering column, finishing the manual brake conversion. I'll do that all at the same time. Sounds good. I had a cat named Fritz. for a little while. Fritz was just a little kitten, rambunctious little snot too, and he was just a kitten. He got old enough, and we sent him out for a declaw and to have his twins cut. And we don't know if he had a defective heart or they over anesthesiaed him, but he perished. His little heart stopped on the operating table, and when that happens to a cat, you can't revive him, so he perished. That sucked. That hurt bad. Oh, I wrote down your email too, Kev. I keep forgetting. I'll have to email you. I got your email wrote down here. I completely forgot, Kev. Yeah. Yeah, I'll try to remember to email you. I got Greg's or um declawing is dangerous. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Um I don't know if it was declawing or what, because it wasn't our normal vet. She was on vacation or something, and there was a fill-in guy, so we don't know if it was just the other veterinarian or if my little if the little guy had a bad ticker or something. So I mean, I don't know, but yeah, the poor guy didn't make it. Mohawk says you never saw the video of the divers who went down to check on the Hoover Dam. They ran into a catfish that was bigger than buses. They estimated to be over a ton in weight. Oh man, talk about a well-fed guy. I bet. I bet. Levi says I caught an 18-pound muskie. He put up a big fight. I bet he did. I bet he did. That's a memorable fight. There are some big old sturgeon in the Great Lakes. Old Mac is right. As a matter of fact, one year, somebody in Michigan, if you're riding your snowmobile on the Great Lakes and you put the snowmobile through, and if the DNR will actually send a diver out to go get it because they don't want it in polluting the lake, and that's on your dime. And they sent down a diver to go hook onto it so they could pull it out. And the diver come up and he's like, I ain't going back down there. I don't care. You can't pay me enough. And to get that snowmobile, it could rot there for all I care. And the DNR officer's like, you have to go back down there and get it. He goes, that thing is laying between four sleeping sturgeon. He's like, there is no way that I am going to disturb them. I am not going back down there. You can find me, you can whatever you want. I'm not doing it because I'm not going to be a snack. Ooh, the calico cat I got run over a couple weeks ago. The strange thing is that she didn't like cars and stayed away from the road. That's unfortunate. Oh, you meant a sturgeon, not a muskie? That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Sturgeon, that's the last of the prehistoric fish. Sturgeon are big old daddies. That's cool, Levi. I'm sorry to hear about your cat. That's one of the reasons why I like to keep my cats indoors, safer that way. My one dog was out chasing. Yeah, some are over 200 years old. Yes. Um, my old dog, uh, she'd get on there's some cats across the street that she was chasing. And one morning I let her out and she went over there, must have been chasing those stupid cats. And she got hit in the road and didn't make it. That was a bad day. Tomorrow, and I should be able to get her on Friday, says Wendy. Good for you. Yeah. Yeah. There was one guy in the greater Grand Rapids area. He caught a sturgeon out of season, and it was on a big river in front of all in front of a whole bunch of people, and they're all like, people are like, he's keeping it, and they're like, you can't keep that. And he goes, watch me. And he threw that sturgeon in his car, and he left. And I will tell you this right now, talk about, like, they hunted him down. They hunted that man down. And he was in enormous trouble. That is horrible, Kev. That is horrible. Yeah, I've seen the Hawks doing a squirrel, and that's pretty rough to watch. That is horrible. Can't remove sturgeon from the water in Idaho. Well, here, like, sturgeon season can be like it literally can be like 25 minutes. Like, it opens up and then somebody fills the tag, and then that's it. Sturgeon season's done. Like, you got to be lucky to catch a sturgeon. I worry about my dogs getting taken by eagles. Well, yeah, especially where you're at, Old Mac, where, because from Whitefish Point down is the flight path, the old flight path of the eagles. So that's on their flight, all that. Yeah, especially where you're at, it's very possible, Old Mac, if they still run that old flight path. Because before eagles were protected, at one time in that area, they were like doing in eagles wholesale. That's nuts. Oh, geez, we've been on for almost 2.5 hours. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to pull the plug. So we have a family of 4 eagles around us. That's crazy. Oh, yeah, all 5 pounds of old Cooper. So thanks for coming and hanging out with me, everyone. Always a good time on Monday nights. So let's be like the Beach Boys and let's get together and do it again. Be here next week, same Dougster time, same Dougster channel. Bye, everyone.